Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Lobo. The channel is called ZooPF Visual Effects. Of course guys, this is a visual effects channel. For those of you who are new to the channel, if you dig that video intro, you guys know what to do. Please like and subscribe, as it always helps me make more video tuts like this for you guys, okay? And for those of you who actually are visual effects artists, this is nothing new to you and you already know how to do this, but still totally cool that you found yourselves on my channel. That being said, I want to be able to do this full time, guys, so there's a link to my Patreon channel. For those of you who want to be Patreon of the channel, thank you so much. That would be totally cool. It would empower me to do this every single day so that I can spend more time doing a tutorial every day, okay? Alright, there's also a folder you guys need to download. That folder has all the assets you need to follow with the tutorial, and that can also be found in the description tab, okay? We're going to recreate this scene right here, but the only thing we're not going to do is spend a whole entire time doing the whole entire video. Instead, we're just going to do about 5 to 10 seconds of the video, only because once you guys understand the whole entire concept, how to throw our 3D OBJ into the scene and have the HUDs come up, it'll make sense to you, and from there you can create your own entire scene and go out there and film your own stuff and create your own things, okay? The one thing that helps sell the scene is the reflection on my actress's glasses, okay? So right here, you guys can see, as soon as she throws the ship, it also appears on her glasses, and it appears all the way through the whole entire scene. Now, the one thing that could have been done better is the tracking of the glasses, okay? But because I did an okay job, sometimes the reflection moves a little bit, and so I had to fix that manually. So the best way to fix this is if you guys actually use the Mocha. Tracking things using Mocha is actually really good. Sometimes it does a far better job than your regular After Effects tracking, okay? And so if I would use Mocha and just cornered each corner of the glasses, the results would have been much better. But now that you know that difference, you'll be able to make sure that you do a far better job than I did, okay? That being said, let's get started right away. So I already brought my HUDs and my video. Your folder looks just like this: YouTube tutorial 35 folder. Once you download it, you'll have your video, your OBJ, and your HUD. The HUDs were free, and there's a link to the artist who created those for us. The OBJ is also free, and I found that on CG Trader. Now, I can't give you guys this OBJ here because I actually paid for that. Alright, so let's get started. Composition right here. I'm just gonna call mine HUDs, not Huds, HUDs, and 4K for me, 24 frames. If you guys can do 4K, do 1080p, click OK. Once you guys are here, let's go ahead and bring in our video. Just drop it in like this. And what we want to do is we want to start from where she is now sipping her coffee, and click shift so you can lock it, and just shift again so you can lock it back. And we're just gonna continue from where she's throwing a ship, and she's just swiping that here, and click shift, and we'll bring it like this, and click shift again. There it is. So once we are here, that's pretty much it. About 7.5 seconds, okay? That's all we need for that. Now let's go ahead and go to layer, new, solid, and call that ship. 4K for me or 1080p for you. Go down to effect, Videocopilot, element, scene setup, and once we are here, import, and go straight from your folder, OBJ, bring that in, click OK, click normalize size. There's your ship. And what we want to do is let's go and bring this out so it's on its own. Delete the folder, Control D. The first ship, we want this first part here, so we'll delete this. And the second ship, we want the second part, so we'll delete the first part. So group 2 is the window, group 1 is the body. Now we want that diagram look. So let's go ahead and go to wireframe glass. There it is. Same thing here. Boom. Now I want it to look like how mine looked, so I'm gonna click here on diffuse color, make it red, and go here, same thing, make it red. Click OK, and it should pop up anytime now. Okay, let's go back in here. Ask ourselves why it didn't pop up. Because this needs to be in group 2. That was the problem. There it is. Okay, so now when that pops up, we have our video, we have our setup of our diagram of the ship. The next thing we need to do is go to group 1, create a null, and then go to group 2 and equally create a null. Once you're here, that's a good start, that's a good setup, and that's what we need right there. Alright, once we are right here, what I want to do right away is go and shut group 2 off and do the same thing here for this one here, okay? But what I'm also going to do is just flip those two around so I can see them better. That being said, what we're going to be working on is looking at our actress's movements and try to simply match our OBJ to her movements. And so let's go and do that right now. So right here, okay, she's throwing the ship out, and so let's go in and open the transform of group null 1, and let's quickly place our ship to whatever she's doing. That looks about good right there. We're gonna go ahead and set a keyframe, and let's see how far. Okay, so about right there the ship is up, and we have to try to match what she's looking at. It's about right there, looks good. Now in my footage the ship is facing this way, but in this one we'll have the ship facing that way because we're only taking the window of the ship, and so we have to make sure it makes sense. Okay, hopefully that makes sense to you guys. So once we are here, that looks pretty good. I'm also going to make that negative 90 degrees, so it's facing that way. Okay, so now I'm going to make that 0 for the scale, set a keyframe, and right there I will crank up the keyframe to where I think will look good. So about right there, that looks pretty good. Okay, so once we're right here, let's go ahead and do some motion right away too. So I believe it's like this. So we're gonna want the ship to move like this. So it's gonna be a negative number, of course. Set a keyframe here, and let's just exit out, and let's just say negative 248. Doesn't have to be perfect because eventually we're gonna do some fixing on that. So once we throw it, it's spinning already, and that's great. So now let's continue to see what she's going to do. So she's going to swipe over here, which means our front has to be about right there. So maybe at about right there we can take the ship all the way down this way, and let's see her swiping, and that makes perfect sense. Okay, so from right here to right here the ship comes to life, and it slowly moves to the left, giving it about 2 seconds, and once she's right here we'll be swiping. Okay, so now that we have what we want, let's just go ahead and copy and paste these keyframes to our group null 2. So let's open this up, let's click this back on, and we are exactly what we need to be from group 1. Okay, make sure you're like this, and Control V, and what you also want to do now is turn group 2. So when it comes to life, the windows are right there as well, and they move backwards, and about right there we're simply going to set a keyframe for group 2 on the position, and she swipes it. So when she's right there, we'll move it. And down, we'll take it down. And just move it over here like this. So let's see how that looks. She swipes it and it goes down. So what we can even do at about at the center here, we can make it go like this, and then it goes down. So it's giving it like an arc. And so it's obviously moving before anything else. And so there it is. Now it moves. When she swipes, it moves. Okay. So let's start from the start. It pops up, moves backwards, and she sees what she wants. She grabs it, she swipes it, and boom. So once we are right here, let's go ahead and bring our HUDs. It's as simple as that, guys. And so we just have to decide which HUD we want to bring. And so the best way to decide is simply going into the HUDs, make it extra large, and let's go ahead and bringing these two right here. So wave 1 and 2. And we drop it in here, and here they are right there. So what we want to do is out about right there, take it down there. So just click shift so you lock into it, and you want to go into add. Once you're right here, they'll pop up like this. We want to make these two 3D and simply move them wherever you want to. So I want to move this one like this. I'm going to move it on the Y axis because I want it to be facing her. And simply, since they're already 3D, just click this icon here so you can just move it into wherever you want it to be moved. Okay, so it's obvious that maybe that's too much here, so maybe I'll want it to be moved by 48, and you might want to take this to 56, and again, it's just moving it wherever you want to move it. Okay, and so let's go ahead and do this one. Same thing. 56. Let's just move it this way, and then you might want to move it up front, or you might want to move it out back or out on top. Guys, it's really up to you how you want to do this. Okay, no one can tell you how to do this. You decide wherever you want it to go. So negative 48, that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to make sure that they both match. And so when she throws it down, it gets here, and boom, immediately these HUDs pop up. Okay, and so let's simply go ahead and do the same thing, and let's just bring any other ones that we want. Very cool. And guys, that's pretty much all you have to do. All right, and so rule number 1, follow your actress or your actor. And then rule number 2, just make sure you have room to put your HUDs around. And rule number 3, as they are swiping things out, make sure that you can take things out of your OBJ, and it gives it more realism. All right, and so that takes care of this whole entire scene right there. Alright guys, time to do some motion tracking, and we're going to be tracking the glasses here so we can recreate the reflection and give it that realism as best as we possibly can. Okay, so the best way to do this is just to double click on your footage. It's going to take you to a new layer, and this is where all the tracking is done. Okay, so if you just go to animation and click track motion, it's going to take you to this tracker here, and all you want to do is track motion. And once you click on track motion, it's going to give you some tracker points, and the tracker points look just like this. Okay, so we're going to do one really quick as an example. I'm going to click track motion, and this is track 1, but as you guys can see is track 3, and if I open this up, it's track 3 right here too. Okay, and it looks just like this, and because we haven't set anything yet, no tracking points are here. And so what do we want to track? We want to track the bottom part of the eye here. And so if we open this up like this, so we're telling After Effects to track part of the glasses, and this box here tells After Effects exactly what to track. Okay, and so if we move it back to how we want it, it would actually be right here. Okay, and so you want to track this part here of the eye, but you're also telling After Effects to track everything else outside too. Okay, and so as soon as you're ready, then you just click the play button, and it's going to track all the way through the footage. Okay, and there are going to be times where her finger is going to be in the way. Once her finger is in the way, then you stop the whole entire tracking and you manually track it. So what do I mean by that? So for each frame, you just manually move it where you want it to be, and then once the finger or the hand is out of the vision, out of the way, then you go back and click this. All right, and guys, that's pretty much it for tracking. I'm gonna delete that, and if you've done a pretty good job, then you know you'll tracking the whole entire eye just like this. Okay, and as you guys can see here, once your finger goes in the way, what we're gonna have to do is, we already have it tracked, which is great, but what we're gonna do is we're simply going to opacity out the reflection to the point where when the finger is back, we opacity back in, and when it's moving out of the way, like right here, you again opacity out the reflection to the point where you opacity back in. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, but the motions are done so quick, and the reflection of the ship is in front of her that no one's really gonna pay attention to anything. Okay, that being said, that's how you track this whole entire footage here, so that you can bring in the reflection into the eyes, which is exactly what we're going to do right now. So in order to bring our reflection properly, we're going to grab the whole entire thing here. So just click shift and grab everything, and once we are here, we have to start a new composition and just call that reflection. Click OK. Go back to your footage here, and then all you want to do is copy that and just bring it all the way down here. Once it's here, it's all ready to go. Okay, once it's all ready to go, all you have to do is bring it back here to our footage. It's gonna go right in front of the footage, but right below the ship, because we want it to be right behind the ship but in front of our footage. Okay, once we are here, we have to make sure we click add, so it looks like this. Now we're just simply going to shut everything off and just use this right now. Okay, and so what we want to do is bring our first tracker, copy it, and throw it into our footage here. So just paste it in there, open it up, and there it is right here. And what you want to do now is you actually want to bring that tracker properly to the start. So I'm glad I made that mistake, so you guys can see that sometimes you will make that mistake too, because if you don't bring this properly back to where it begun, the tracking is going to be 100% off, and you don't want that. So that's exactly where we are for everything, and this is great. So now that we are here, what we want to do is we want to click Alt on the position of the reflection, and then you just want to pick whip to the attach point here or the feature center. Okay, but since we're so close to the attach point, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Now my whole entire footage is tracked to this point here. So if we move forward, that's exactly what we have. Okay, so all we have to do is just scale it down so that it fits as best as possible into her glasses. So how about we say 3.5? 3.5 looks pretty good. And if we scroll forward, it should still remain there. Okay, and so if it pops up too much, then we can say 3.2 is exactly the right size, or you know what, we'll just say 3 to be on the safe side. Okay, so once it's like this, since it is this footage here, it's also moving, and it's moving at the same exact time that this footage is moving, which gives it some realism. Okay, and so if you guys want to get even more technical, then we go down into our distort, click on this icon here, and then just simply move things so that it sort of creates that bold shape that matches her glasses as best as we possibly can. And you know, it gives it that more of that realism look that you're looking. And there it is right there. And you know, to me that looks pretty good right there. And it's not going to be perfect, guys, but make sure yours is perfect. Okay, and once we also get here, let's take the opacity down to 40. So now it gives us a reflection, but it's not too crazy. So maybe 50 looks pretty good. And let's go ahead and also give it a blur. So blur and sharpen, camera lens blur, and make that 10. Okay, so now it's blur in there, and that looks pretty good. All right, so once you have that, it pretty much takes care of this, and now it follows perfectly to what she's doing, and that's exactly what we want. So as we can see here, it's still kind of a little bit too big, right? So 2.7 is about right. And then if you give it some motion blur, look what happens. There you go, it matches with the motion blur of our actress, and it's right in there, and that gives it some realism. And so if we are to bring everything in, this is what it looks like. There it is, and it's there, you can't really see it, but still it gives you that realism, and the realism will best be seen at the very beginning when we are throwing everything in. So I'm gonna make that half, and as you guys can see here, as she throws it, it's appearing on her glasses, and that gives it some really cool realism right there. There you go. Now 3 is a little bit higher, and maybe how about we go here? Boom, there it is right there. Okay, and that sells the shot as best as we possibly can. Okay, and so the next thing is to just simply do the same thing on the other side, and you are all set. Okay, and guys, this totally takes care of a whole entire shot here, a whole entire scene here. Okay, alright guys, I hope this tutorial was really helpful for you guys in creating this very simple scene right here. I've always wanted to create a scene like this. I'm glad I had the opportunity to. I'm glad my actress was really good too, so everything was believable. I believe the reflection in the glasses was really what sold the whole entire scene here. This turned out to be better than the one I actually did for the reflection, but that being said guys, it still turned out pretty awesome for both videos. My name is Lobo, the channel is called ZooPF Visual Effects. If you dig my style, like and subscribe, and guys, if you can, become a patron on my channel. Help me make this a reality to do this every single day. $1 or more a month really helps a lot. Okay, thank you so much for watching guys, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye now.